it sounds so good.
Welcome back to the Jojitorium. Well, I think remember too, whenever we found the German Scheiser corn. Let's not lie to each other. You're in twerk classes over there. That's
Yeah. That's all it is.
The fitness class.
Working on them TikTok videos you like so much.
Dead face. Got right in front of you. Welcome back to Jojitorium. You know who it is. It's Adam. It's Matt. We're decaying with the boys. And honestly, we're just working as hard as we can for a cease and desist letter.
Like a good neighbor, decaying is there.
If you didn't know, our YouTube is grabbing some attention. So why haven't you subscribed yet? At the time of this podcast, we are at 81 subscriptions, and we've delivered over 188 videos, or more than 11,000 minutes of content for you. So from shorts about Velma being a thick baddie, to Adam being the glizzy king, to Matt kind of getting all he's taken for in crypto, and to bringing you the best up and coming brewers in the city of Pittsburgh, the boys YouTube is a place to be. You can subscribe to us right now by searching us out on YouTube at DWTB, or just click on the link in our show notes. Cheers. Welcome back. Today, the Jojitorium is overwhelmingly pleased to bring one of the best homebrewers in the scene. Adam, fans, listeners, subscribers, I bring to you Derek from Debits and Credits Brewing, based right outside of Pittsburgh.
Welcome, dude.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Very nice to have you here, man. Thanks for wanting to come on here.
It's an honor to be in the presence of such fine gentlemen as yourselves.
Hey, listen, man, I can only get so hard. The way you were flirting with me off camera before this all started, you got me a little worried. But now, you know what? We'll go there. We'll go there. I like it.
We'll go wherever we need to go.
Like a rocket ship.
Yeah.
Hey, so before we get all the way deep in this episode, because we got a lot to go over, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you on all the socials?
Yeah, so not a ton of socials, but you can find on Instagram at Debits and Credits Brewing, and then also all the beers are on Untapped. So in the event you try any of these beers, you're free to check them in and let me know what your thoughts are on them.
Cool. All right. Fantastic. And that's Debits and Credits Brewing, all one word on Instagram, too. So if you try to space it out, you won't find it.
No.
It's all one big, long, confusing brick.
Right.
Perfect.
It's exactly what you want it to be. It's not that hard.
It's not, but it is.
Just go to Adam's followers, scroll through his 2,500 plus followers, and you'll find me eventually.
Yeah.
You know.
I wish I had that many.
So we are in round one. Derek, you brought some delicious beers from your brewery. Put that all together. What do we call it?
Sorry, I was so delayed on that. That was terrible timing.
Round one beers. What are we drinking, man?
So this is Office Christmas Party, based on the name Debits and Credits Brewing. A lot of the beer names are finance, accounting, business related. So what better name for a winter warmer than Office Christmas Party? So
He brews for all the business casuals out there.
I brew for, whoever needs beer after their work hours.
Okay. All right.
So this is my winter warmer coming in at about 9.7%. So
9.7
definitely will warm you up. It's got honey, ginger, cinnamon, clove, allspice, nutmeg, pretty much all the winter flavors. So trying to go for a Christmas bouquet in a glass.
That's exactly how you're describing it. And that's exactly what I'm getting. It's nice and sweet, but I'm already getting that little bit of
a little bit of warmth.
Yeah, getting the gray hairs on my chest twirling.
Hey, they don't call it winter warmer for nothing.
That's what I'm saying. That honey is the thing that I'm really getting a hold of too. This is really good, man. The spices play really nice, and it's sitting right there. It feels good. It's like if you have one of those dumb holiday parties where you actually are outside for some reason. You ever go to one of those?
Yeah.
You're by the fire. This is it.
It would be perfect right now.
Yeah.
That's exactly where you should be having this. I kind of am just going to parrot what Matt said. I get a bunch of the honey, And then the spices, which I usually don't like in a winter warmer because somebody overdoes one spice or another, or just in general it's too spicy. This one is not. Like, it doesn't dry out my mouth with cinnamon or nutmeg or anything like that. And the honey's just helps that warmth grow, I think. And probably helped you get the ABV up, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, so for that I use honey and honey malt as well, just to kind of bring out some of that honey flavor. But yeah, I found that just from the winter warmer scene, a lot of the beers can be spice heavy. And this is more just trying to, you're sitting by the fire or you're sitting outside by a fire pit and you need something to warm you up. That's kind of what this is going for.
It hits the mark, man. So while we're sipping on this bad boy, we are in the first round, and of course, you are a first-time attendee in the Jojitorium, so we gotta get to know you.
Absolutely.
So I want to know everything about you, inside and out. I'm gonna just,
all right. You're gonna pepper me with questions. I can feel it.
Yeah,
I can see it in your eyes.
I'm gonna crush you. I'm gonna give it to you.
All right.
So first and foremost, I mean, you're a craft beer guy.
Yeah.
And everybody gets broken into it one way or another. So what was the thing that sparked your interest? Was it a beer? Was it an event? Was it a person? What got you into it?
Yeah, so it actually goes all the way back to college. You go to a lot of the parties there, and they have your Keystone Ice and your Natty Light, and all those macro beers. And senior year, a couple buddies and I, we decided to try to branch out. So we were trying the Leinenkugels, your Magic Hat number 9, kind of some of those beers that aren't so much thought of as craft beer now, but back then we were like, holy cow, this isn't colored water. So it was craft beer to us. And then after college, I moved down to DC, and they just have a crazy craft beer scene in the best of ways. So it's just got with a couple guys that I worked with, and down there they have a store called Total Wine, which by the name you wouldn't think they would have a ton of craft beer, but they actually have a really good selection. So we would actually go, each of us would just pick a mixed 6-pack, and we'd kind of get together and try all the beers and just kind of see what's out there. So from there it grew to where we're at now. So
what was the beer that you had that you were like, I'm already in it, but this is the one, like, there's no going back now?
Yeah. So I think for me, the one that I always go back to is Deschutes Black Butte Porter.
Oh, yeah.
Which has been around forever. They've done all kinds of different barrel versions of it. They've done, double ABV versions of it. But, that's the one you kind of go back to and say, if I could put a stake in the ground, that's kind of the one that I lay claim to.
That's the one right there.
Got me into the dark beers, and kind of kept me there. So
good. I mean, it's a great beer, and it still holds up now too. When it comes out, it's still nice and flavorful and plentiful too, man. The distro up here is really good for that too. So now you're sitting here, you've poured one of your beers for us. So obviously you're a home brewer and a skilled one at that. This is delicious.
Thank you.
So what was the reason behind home brewing? What made you want to get into it, and how long have you been doing it?
Yeah, so I've been doing it probably for about 6 or 7 years. About 10 years ago when we were in DC, I kind of got one of those like Mr. Beer kits. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't really call that home brewing. But when my wife and I moved back to the Pittsburgh area, I kind of got the 3-pot system. Actually got into like actual home brewing. So I'd say probably like 6 or 7 years of like true home brewing. Probably 3 years of legit home brewing, of actually being part of a homebrew club. But yeah, I got into it telling my wife that it would be cheaper from a craft beer standpoint.
Look at the lies.
That's a common line.
That was a lie. It is nice that I don't have to go out and get like cases of like macro beers or anything for parties or stuff like that. Yeah. I can just kind of have stuff on tap. But yeah, just kind of got into it. I was really big into craft beer, and as an accountant, there's not a whole lot of creativity in that. But I do tend to think I have a somewhat creative side, so I tried to use that as my outlet for kind of getting some creativeness out there from just recipes and then beer names and stuff like that. So
cool. Awesome. So you talked about having the Mr. Beer off there. I think a lot of people we talk to, that's one of their first things they have. But now you say you're on the 3-pot system. What does the equipment look like for you? Like, what's your output? Like, what's your highest volume output you can make right now?
Yeah, so I do 5-gallon batches. it's pretty rudimentary. Just kind of the main boil kettle. I got the mash tun. And then I have a hot liquor tank, which is actually just an old Gatorade water jug.
Yeah.
Maybe upgrade that at some point in time. But, I mean, for right now, it works. So, it's just kind of my system. I still do the glass carboys. I do keg now, which is a huge
awesome. Yeah.
Efficiency thing. I hate bottling. It's just, it took up way too much time. I never got the carbonation right, so.
It is a tricky guy.
It's a chore, too. It's
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
it was the worst part about homebrewing when
Yeah.
I still bottle conditioned. Oh.
It's like, what's crazy though too is like we went to an event and we were next to Ben Steffen and he brought only cans for us to serve, and I was like, this is the only time it's acceptable for me to have a vessel because this is so much easier. Go.
Yep.
Get out of here.
Absolutely.
Throwing grenades at people. So you have the current equipment now, and with the beers you're making, I
Yep.
mean, you are definitely in line for some kind of upgrades. Have you like had your eye on anything that you'd like to upgrade?
Yeah, so definitely looking right now at just some pumps on the hot side just to kind of get things flowing so I don't have to carry the pots and do kind of the gravity situation.
Okay.
I realize I'm not as young as I used to be, and some of the beers I brew are higher on the ABV side, which means there's a whole lot of grain and liquid in there, so they are really heavy. And eventually I'm not going to be able to lift them up as, easily as I used to back in the day. So that's definitely on there, and then probably like a conical fermenter just to kind of get away from the glass carboys.
Okay.
But
You know how you could also help out with like heavy stuff? You just trick a dumb person to come in and clean it and carry heavy stuff.
yeah, if you know any, let me know. Oh,
Get a good cellar boy.
Yeah.
I mean, if you didn't live over an hour away from me, I would look into that. So
He will still drive out if you catch him on the right day.
I may just have to ask Adam to do it. So we'll see.
I'm not that dumb. Hey, if you give me enough of this winter warmer, I might do it.
I'm dumb enough for water.
Yeah.
So then, of all the things you currently have right now, what's one piece of equipment that you, like, if you're going up to your brew day, what's the one thing that you have that you can't live without, and you would tell somebody who wants to get into it, like, you have to have this thing?
Yeah, so mine's going to be like really simple, but since I do, I don't have an electric system, the propane burner, because otherwise you're not going to make any beer because you're not at any one point going to get up to a boil, because the pots I have, they're not going to fit on an oven. So
Okay.
I would say that, but then also just kind of one of those temperature probes.
Okay.
Obviously, some of the pots I have a temperature probe on them, but they're not always the most accurate things. So I like to use those just to see kind of where I'm at in the boil, how close I am, what my mash temp is, and then also just taking gravity readings, knowing kind of what temperature that's at.
Okay.
In order to make any adjustments. So it seems really simple, and it's not the most expensive piece of equipment, but I mean, obviously you can't really make the beer without pots or anything like that. Everything's important, but
Yeah. I think it's kind of like going beyond like the idea of the setup itself, like a good temperature gauge, especially if you're trying to make different styles of beer.
Yep.
I mean, different ones require different temping. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the other thing too is go back to something you said earlier. You said you were part of a homebrew club.
Yeah.
How important is that for you to be a part of a homebrew club?
I mean, that's been huge. So when I first started homebrewing, when my wife and I lived north of Pittsburgh, I just kind of did it on my own. Wasn't part of a club, just kind of was giving some beer out to neighbors. And obviously, if you're giving beer away for free, they're going to have good
This is
feedback for you.
delicious.
Yeah, they're like, this is the best beer I've ever had. And it's like, of course it is, because you didn't have to pay for it, and I'm just handing it out to you. But when we moved down to the South Hills, one of the things I really wanted to do was join a homebrew club just to kind of meet people, get some like true feedback, even though the homebrew community is super nice. They still give you kind of that honest feedback as far as how to get better. So when we moved down in 2020, probably a few months after that, kind of let the COVID thing run its course a little bit.
That little.
I don't even know if anyone remembers what that was.
I pick up in time.
Yeah, what was that? No.
Yeah.
I did this. That's when I started drinking in my basement a lot.
Yeah. Never heard of it before.
We call that a turning point.
Yeah, right, exactly.
My glory years.
Yeah. So I remember the first trash meeting I went to was at Apis, and of course I was nervous. Never went to a homebrew club meeting before, and I walk in. Of course, I'm walking into a brewery with my own beer, which is like super awkward because I'm like, they're selling it. I feel like I shouldn't be walking in with my own. But I go in, of course, as an auditor, I get there super early. There's no one else really there. And then, funny enough, first person I meet is Mike from 5th season.
Yeah.
And I think it was his first, or one of his first trash meetings.
It might have been his second, I think.
Yeah, and we just started talking, and then Adam showed up, and, just kind of, as one of the officers, it was kind of cool to kind of get to know him and talk to him, and, the brewer from Hitchhiker was there, and I had brought my coffee porter, so I was like, oh my gosh, like,
Give me
they
some
have a really
notes.
good
Yeah.
coffee porter, so I'm like, I kind of want to give it to you, I kind of don't, because you might tell me it's terrible, but it's fine, because I at least figure out how to
Make
maybe
it
make it better.
Yeah.
I'll do a little bit of truth. He was so adorable because he's like, I have this coffee porter, and I really want him to try it, but like, what's the etiquette? Can I just ask him to try? I was like, yeah, hand him the bottle.
Hand him the bottle.
And he'll give you feedback. Honestly, the first meeting you came to was right around this time of year.
Yep.
I think it was a February meeting.
Yeah.
And that's going right into the trash competition. So, like, all of the judges were hanging out, which a lot of them are pros or very experienced homebrewers.
Yeah.
So, like, it was one of the best meetings you could get feedback at. Like, we just
Yeah.
had a ton of people there, and a lot of really experienced people were in
Yeah.
the room. So, it was an awesome meeting.
It's just kind of one of those things where you like see a famous person,
Yeah.
and you're like, how do I approach them?
Yeah.
What do I say?
Well, especially
do I have
because,
to pay them? Do I have to give them some money on the
Hashtag
side?
totes adorbs.
Yeah.
because you're also in the lane too, so it's almost like
Yeah.
you're seeing someone who could ultimately judge you ruthlessly. So there's
Right.
that layer
Yep.
of it too. Like, I love all your stuff, and I'm trying to kind of do the thing that you do.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
don't hurt me. But like, with all those people, and you surround yourself with a lot of people, and Adam was saying it too, like, there's competitions all over the place.
Yeah.
And festival season is coming up sooner rather than later. Do you have any of the festivals that are usually in the normal rotation that you want to take a stab at this year?
Yeah, so last year I actually made it to more festivals than I thought I would, and it was an absolutely great experience. I would recommend it to anyone in the homebrew scene who maybe is just homebrewing at home and they want to, maybe branch out. I would absolutely say go to a festival. I feel like I've said this to Adam the last 2 years. North Hills Homebrew Fest is absolutely on my list. For whatever reason, something comes up every year, and I'm not able to make it there, but that is absolutely on my list. And really just trying to attend the same ones I did last year. We had the Mondays Homebrew Fest, which went really well. We got Brewing for a Cause. We got Barrel and Flow. Crush and Brew up in Ambridge. Their setup was absolutely fantastic.
That was awesome.
We were kind of all in a rectangle, and all the brewers could just kind of reach behind them and be like, hey, fill up my cup with whatever you have.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, just kind of sticking to the ones I went to last year, trying to at least also get to North Hills as a new one for this year. And, if anything else fits in, so be it. But those are the focus for this year.
So then I want you to dip back into all the beers you've made. You got to go to one of these festivals. You got to bring a knockout. What's one beer that you make right now that you know is going to be the one that destroys everybody else?
So Adam's doing hand gestures over there, but I have no idea what he's referring to.
For me, it's what we're about to drink in round two.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't want to give too much away, but I know a lot of the festivals are also in like the summertime, so don't necessarily want to bring higher ABV beers, which unfortunately is the ones that I am most interested in brewing.
Yeah.
And also, sadly, the Winter Warmer is one of my favorite beers. I brew it every year. I've done it for the last 4 or 5 years.
I can tell. It's really good.
But when it comes to June or July, that's not exactly the first beer that people go to. But I will say, just kind of thinking of summertime, I did brew a coffee blonde last year that got some really good feedback. Just using some local coffee beans, and that seemed to go pretty well.
Yeah,
so
personal favorite of mine that he makes in the summer is the jalapeno saison.
Ah,
Might be more of a fall time, but like
Yeah, so I'm
one's
also
awesome.
a big fan of spicy
Yeah.
foods, hot things. So I try to sneak in some peppers into styles that maybe don't necessarily.
I'm also a fan
Think
of
of
spicy
the
things,
spicy things?
but they don't like me back.
Yeah.
So what's nice is with the saison is it has the flavor of the jalapeno without the spice of it.
Oh,
Because I de-seed it. I just want. How I describe it is you're drinking a field of like you're walking through a field of jalapenos and you can like smell them and
Yeah.
kind of know that you're there as opposed to eating a field of jalapenos.
as my,
So that's kind of how I describe it. So you're not going to get heartburn and
you're describing a Snuggle commercial too.
listen.
You walk through a field and you see how the jalapenos, and they're so good.
Yeah, jalapeno pillows. Do
Yeah.
you not want jalapeno pillows?
There's sometimes I hate myself so much I probably would bury my face in a jalapeno soaked pillow to teach myself a lesson.
Well, there you go.
Matt punishes himself by running backwards through that
Yeah.
field. Naked.
I love them so much. I eat them with my bum.
So on the flip side of that, everyone has victories and what they
Snuggle
do.
beer got real weird. We might need a new spokesperson.
Now I'm here for life. Don't kink shame me.
So, but on the flip side of good beers that people make, people do have moments where they don't succeed. So I always put this out there to brewers we
Yeah.
have on. When have you failed?
Yeah, so absolutely we'll admit to that, and Adam probably knows exactly what beer I'm going to bring up, and it is a cream ale I made about a year and a half or so ago, which, based on going to homebrew meetings, found out it wasn't necessarily the process, but unfortunately brewed it in the summertime because it's cream ale, kind of want the lighter beers at that time, but I ordered liquid yeast, and shipping when it's 90 degrees, liquid, something you want to keep cold, probably wouldn't recommend. So the yeast kind of got away from me. So that was an unfortunate outcome, but it happens. We did dump it. It's just kind of the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
You can't make everything perfect. We try, but
But it's something
It,
to learn from. At least it could be diagnosed easily and
yes,
Yeah.
it was
solved. I mean, you couldn't fix that beer, but solve the
Right.
problem for future beers.
And fortunately, it wasn't a process issue. It was just an ingredient issue. So next time, we're just going to go dry yeast. We're not going to take any chances with the liquid yeast, and we'll see what the outcome is for that. But yeah, that one didn't smell great.
I can imagine.
Didn't taste overly great. But it was good. You go to the homebrew meetings, you get the feedback as to what it is, and you find out, gave it to like 2 or 3 guys, and they were like, yeast.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay,
Boom.
that's
Got it.
great.
well,
Thank
that's
you.
the thing. Like, nobody would give up on it either. They were like, well, what was, like, eventually we got to yeast, but it was like,
Yeah.
well, what was your fermentation temperature? What was your mash temp? What was this? What was that? What
Yeah.
And then eventually it was, what yeast did you use? Oh, it's liquid yeast. Did you buy that and keep it cold, or did you have it shipped and, like, eventually?
Yeah.
Broke it down.
Eventually, like, because nobody's going to give up. It's like,
Yeah.
we're going to figure out why this tastes
We got to solve this fucking
Right.
equation.
Yes, exactly.
Goodwill Hunting on this
Yeah.
shit, man.
But it's good because, like, then you don't repeat that mistake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
But again, if you don't go to homebrew meetings
You
and
don't
you're
get
just
the
drinking on
feedback.
your own, you don't have that feedback. You don't have those other people that you can bounce these things off of. And it's like
You could think
I know.
I just suck at this. I'm giving up.
Yeah,
Like, that's not,
right.
That's not the way to do it.
it's like
there's
I
an
know
answer to the
that
problem.
I know this beer tastes bad, but I
Yeah.
want to find out why. So
So before we move on to something else here, I want to know, man, what are the goals for Debits and Credits Brewing in 2024?
yeah, I don't know if I want to say there's any huge goals. I think it's more just kind of, the trash competition is coming up, so hoping to, get some medals from that. Fingers crossed. Got a few last year. That was a huge surprise. But we'll see what this year brings. Looking to get some labels for when I do bottle, just to kind of have to be able to do that. I'm looking to just kind of do kind of like one, I don't want to say generic label, but just kind of one that you can use for
Yeah, like
various
it's
different
yours.
beers.
Yeah.
And then, just I think some of these other homebrew fests, whatever I can attend, just trying to get some actual crowd votes. They got some good feedback from them, but didn't necessarily get any of the crowd votes. So, getting a couple of those wouldn't make me feel as depressed as I do afterwards. But yeah, it's kind of just the goal, just kind of keep moving forward, attend some of these festivals, just kind of get the name out there, and I think we're on a good pace because we're already on here on the podcast. So I mean,
yeah, there you go.
I feel like it's only downhill from here as far as getting the name out there. So.
So I'm sure you know, because you are a loyal listener, you do subscribe to us. It's cool to have you here, and you should know, and you do know that we are combat sports focused, at least in the first half of this thing. So from Buckle to Bell to Bellator and back, the boys bring the best combat sports news in the biz. So did you know, Derek, that Floyd Mayweather is being sued because 2024 continues to be a very weird year for famous boxers? So why not Floyd Mayweather Jr.? So Eduardo Andres Torres Martinez has filed a lawsuit.
I just love how you say his name. Say it again.
Martinez.
Yes.
Has filed a lawsuit claiming that back in February 10th, 2022, that Mayweather came into a Yard House. Why the fuck was he at a Yard House? But whatever. He needed a grilled cheese sandwich that cost $11.
Dying for some expensive grilled cheese and some average beer.
But he wanted it in a fancy Yard glass.
He did.
I want to pay a lot for mid.
But he was also by, near and dear to my heart, the Crypto.com arena, because Greg Avocado was looking for my checks. So he actually started to use his cell phone. He was recording the renowned boxer. Upon notice, Mayweather said, nah, bruh, and just sicked the largest bodyguard probably known to man. I actually looked up further than this, and the reports are this dude was like 6'5", like 350. Like, it's
sounds like a good bodyguard.
a very good bodyguard. So much
I surround myself similarly.
I didn't know I was there. Wow.
So Martinez, for lack of better phrasing, got fucked up. Like, he got wrestled to the ground. I give him credit though, man. He kept that cell phone away long enough to get more evidence of the struggle. And so the lawsuit's going to go through, and he's suing for a few $1 million, saying that there's like injuries he's still going through physical therapy for, and some mental anguish, of course, because a giant tried to kill him. But the funny thing is though, when they went to Mayweather and they're like, hey man, how'd this happen? He goes, I don't know. I wasn't there. But he's on camera. So the lawsuit's going through.
I mean, not a bad defense. I'm not a lawyer, but I don't know why you're suing Mayweather. It seems like you have a case against the giant bodyguard.
I think because
I know the giant bodyguard doesn't have the money, but it's gonna be tough from that camera to say that Mayweather told him to do that, unless he went, see that guy, fuck him up.
Which, judging by how well Mayweather reads, he very well could have been like, there's a guy there with the phone. Me don't like that. You attack.
He has to talk in hands.
Yeah. But he talks in hands, but he doesn't know sign language. He just does like
he just does.
But I mean, he is employed.
Great, now he's gonna stick the bodyguard on us, man. Great.
He is employed by Floyd Mayweather, so
This is like the reading comprehension level cannot exceed 5th grade.
yeah.
The contracts are written in crayon. Where's 50 Cent when you need him? So, speaking of assholes, Sean Strickland decided that he doesn't have time for women's MMA. So he was being interviewed for a presser for an upcoming card he's going to be on. And MMA Junkie decided to grab this one little soundbite where he went on to say, I don't want to see two little cats fight. I want to see lions fight. As if he counts himself among lions. And he's not. Oops. So the problem with Sean Strickland is that he says this, and it gets a couple people that would probably still eat at a Fuddruckers coming out and talking shit. But for the most part, people are like shutting it down, you know, because women's MMA is really fucking entertaining. I don't know where he's coming from. So much so that I dug in some of the numbers, and I found the top 10 selling pay-per-views and UFC cards. And on all of them, Holly Holm, the preacher's daughter, she's been featured not once, not twice, but 3 times in the main card, and Sean Strickland has been featured 0 fucking times. So I don't know what he's watching, but apparently women are making money, Sean Strickland's not, so shut the fuck up.
Boom, roasted.
I don't know what to say.
I mean, It's just a take from somebody that also would probably show up at a yard house for an expensive grilled cheese
It's
sandwich.
true. Power Slap is going to start running shows and selling tickets. And here's the thing about this. Power Slap was hilarious when it was Russian dudes beating the shit out of each other in the cold outside while bears were dancing in the background and vodka was flowing. However, this Endeavor-backed Dana White baby that he made now is going to actually have tickets on sale for their first event in Las Vegas. And you would think, Adam, Derek, man, that'd be fun. Like on a Thursday night.
Yeah.
Let's go get fucking hammered.
Let's go watch some kratom-fueled gorillas
Yeah.
just hit each other in a Hooters parking lot.
Dude, for sure. We can
Sign me up.
We can eat some hot dogs, drink
Yeah.
some fucking Bud Lights. It'll be a good time, right?
Yeah.
As long as they're Sheets hot dogs. No other hot dogs.
Shout out to you, Sheets, sponsoring. You use our promo code DK, and you can get 2 glizzies for the price of 1. I think it comes with Mountain Dew or Starry, wherever the fuck it is they're selling these days.
Your choice.
Those are different.
You can get Jones-
Starry
you can get Jones-
is different than Mountain Dew.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to break the science wall
Saying,
for you.
Gosh.
You can get a Jones soda for a 50-cent upcharge.
So this thing is going to apparently take the world by storm. But if I could tell you guys that between the 3 of us, we might be able to buy 1 ticket because there's 3 levels to this thing. There's a silver package. They didn't even start at bronze. They went right to silver. And it's per ticket, $495 a ticket. And that gets you like in the back sections. Like they call it like section 7. And it starts at 1. And it's like 7 to 10, and you can get something back there, and you get like, I think it's like 1 piece of memorabilia or something. But what the fuck they're gonna give you from Power Slap? Gold and number 2 here is $695, and you get some food, and you get yeah, I know, and it's gonna be hot dogs, and it's gonna be fucking hot dogs. It's Dana White. It's gonna be hot dogs.
At best, it's chicken tenders.
Last but not least here, there's the Platinum package, which is $995. You know what this gets you, Derek?
I hope it gets me to slap someone because
No.
that would be great.
However, depending on how much you like this guy that you get a new photo op with for $995, Mr. Charles Barkley himself, because when I think of Power Slap, I think of Charles Barkley.
Sir Charles Barkley.
Sorry.
Yes.
Sir Charles Barkley. Yeah, so for roughly $5 under a G-bar, you get to have pictures with the Sir Charles Barkley.
Do I still get the chicky tendies and Mountain Dew?
Yeah, that's included. And then you also get...
Do we know it's actually Charles Barkley, or are you just
No,
making that up?
I'm not making this up.
It is
Because
actually?
what happens is...
That's now very tempting.
It's not?
Oh, it is now very tempting.
Very much so.
Yes.
I think I have $1,000.
I mean, that'll get me to pay an extra $300 if I'm getting
Easily.
a picture with the Sir Charles Barkley.
With this golf swing and everything. And it's...
Well, now you're talking video. I'm not sure you can get...
I'm paying them $1,000 next to Charles Barkley. He hasn't seen that much money in decades.
Plus, you're going to be front row for some wavered homicide.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, how the fuck do you not know to slap somebody right under their jaw and knock them out?
It's hard to watch.
It's a spot right here. You just aim here. There's no rules that you can't slap somebody right here.
I'm just afraid.
Here.
I'm worried, and I've seen a couple
fucking
videos.
here. You slap them here, and they die. They fucking die.
It's a homicide.
I think that might be an illegal strike.
I'm pretty
But
sure there are
I've seen them where
rules.
they miss and hit the ear and like box it, and then the ear starts to bleed. I'm like, oh, this is bad. I can't
Like
watch
Dada
this
5000 when his ear popped.
Yeah.
That was fucking awesome. Shout out to Kimbo.
anymore.
But like, my question is like, how long are these events? Because I've actually, I'll admit, I've watched some of these
We all have,
on
sir.
TV.
We all have.
You know, some of Dana White's, episodes of whatever it is that he's putting out there. But, like, how long is that event going to be? A half an hour? Because you basically get one slap, the guy passes out, and then it's called.
I don't know, man.
So unless you're getting 30
You
different
might be getting like
bouts,
30. Yeah, you might be getting like 20 fights.
All I'm saying is, man, you're getting...
Because none of them last that long.
Well, some of those
Right.
guys are slap tanks, man. That's my new phrase. Slap tanks. Okay.
Does that mean you can give a slap or take a slap?
I
both.
think it's a little bit of both. A little bit column A, a little bit column B. Yeah.
They're good import-export business. On
Yeah,
slapping?
yeah.
All right.
Little bit, a little in, little out. I'll give it to you back. And,
Yeah.
I don't chalk
Yeah.
my hand because I'm not a bitch. And that's I don't know. I think 25 to 30 was probably, I don't know how much that is. But wouldn't that suck bad if you're like, I can really delay the gratitude of seeing Sir Charles Barkley until this is over, and they're like 10 minutes later.
They better be
Yeah.
slapping him at the end.
I mean, I just feel like
Just
if
to hear him
I'm,
make that noise. Oh.
like if I'm paying $1,000, I want to be able to. I don't want to get slapped, but
Yeah.
I would like the ability to slap someone else.
Charles Barkley.
I mean, maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe pre-picture.
I'd have to jump to his face.
Well,
You would. Matt and I would be fine.
Hey, man, he's not in Space Jam shape anymore, man. We can do whatever the fuck we want to Charles Barkley, okay? He's not stopping us. He's just tall. That's it.
And we only have to reach apparently right under his chin. So I mean,
And they die!
apparently they die, even though no one has died to
I
date.
think they die.
Brachial stun, bro. Brachial stun.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So we are going into Adam's favorite segment of
Get
the first
into
half.
it. Get into it. I got some hot takes
It's
this week.
going over jobbing. This means, I mean, you know what this is, but for people who are just tuning in because they
Yeah.
love you so much, this is, we bring some rumors from the back of the wrestling locker room and we see if they're truthful or they're full of shit. So the first one we have here, Rhea Ripley will turn babyface near or immediately after WrestleMania.
Am I going first?
Yep.
I think that's going over. I think she's like a smidge, a centimeter away from being a babyface already.
Yeah.
That whole group is. They're just very entertaining. Although they're playing the heels on TV, they're crowd favorites. So, yeah, I think it's definitely going over. She's going face any day now.
I think it's going over too because you have R-Truth.
Yeah.
How do you have R-Truth in your group and you guys aren't babyfaces?
Yeah, that's part of
What's
babyface.
up? What's up?
You got Damian Priest cracking every Raw, laughing at Truth.
I love it. I love it. What about you? What do you think?
Yeah, so for my notes, I just put that I was going to disagree with everything that Adam said for this section. So I'm just going to say it's jobbing.
Yeah.
And she's a bad, bad bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly
That's the
what I was
opposite of
going to
what I
say. Yes.
I
So
like this.
it was
Perfect.
just it was a simple approach
Yeah.
to a complicated situation.
But it's only against Adam, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you disagree with him too, then I obviously agree with you
me.
because I have to disagree with him. So
This is gonna get
that's just
fun.
how things play out. I don't know.
This is going to be real fun.
I didn't make the rules. You just
You made a rule for yourself, which I am subscribing to.
teach
like
their
that.
own.
We only got two more left, so it's not
Hey,
gonna be
Adam,
that much fun.
Samoa Joe versus Swerve Strickland versus Hangman Adam Page will be the headline triple threat match at Revolution for AEW in March.
I don't like it, but I think that's also going over.
Okay.
I would rather be a one-on-one between Joe and Swerve, but they seem to be injecting Hangman into that story.
Yeah.
There's not a pay-per-view before it, unless they do an eliminator match.
Yeah.
And I swear if they throw Hangman in there, scorched earth from this guy.
Yeah. Well, I think what they should do, honestly, the match that you're not seeing here is it should be Samoa Joe for sure. He should be carrying the belt into Revolution, but I think what he should be doing is running it back with Hook. At this point, I mean, did a great job.
Did your least favorite wrestler of 2023 start out good 2024 with you?
Well, all I'm saying is if I could adjust this match as well as I want to, I would probably say, Samoa Joe, good. Hangman Adam Page, good. Get rid of Strickland, put Hook in there.
This is just so Derek
Triple threat
agrees
match.
with you and pisses me
Yeah.
off. Okay.
Derek, what about you?
I do like that Hook got the job right along one of the jobbers of the stars, Dustin Rhodes, this week on Dynamite.
You know what,
Losing
though?
to Christian Cage
Can we
in the
go
third
back
round.
to something that we said quite a few episodes ago? You said to me, to this face, that if Dustin Rhodes won on primetime TV, that I got to punish you.
Yep, still hasn't done it though.
He
so-
won on Collision.
Oh, that's not prime time. You got to look at the viewers.
You fucking kidding
It's got to
me?
be a show where over 800,000 people watch.
Well, 800,001 watched that one, and you owe me some shit. No, I think this is going over for sure. I think this is the match you're going to see at Revolution. It's just going to happen. It's the smart match to make.
It's where they're booking it from 1,000 yards out. The only problem is like after Dynamite this week, everything you can see coming from a mile away,
Yeah.
and they still have like 45 days till we get to the pay-per-view.
It's a lot of time.
Yeah.
45 days.
Yep.
And for anyone who's just tuning in right now, obviously we're just disagreeing with whatever Adam says.
Yeah, for all of you losers that start a podcast in the middle, we're not airing live.
Listen, I'm just saying. Just
for
in
tuning
case. Just in case. I just want to put out there again that I'm just going to disagree with
I
Adam.
like
for everything.
podcasts, but only when I start them at the 35-minute mark.
You're actually pretty spot on.
Boom.
Crushing it.
So last but not least here, Tony Khan will never bounce back from how he fumbled the Chris Jericho situation.
He's got enough money. He can bounce back from everything.
You think?
I think that's jobbing. Yeah.
How about you?
I hope he doesn't, but I think he will.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to disagree again. I don't think it's going to happen. You know, I mean, it's too easy not to. It's just too easy to disagree with Adam.
Yeah.
You know,
Understandably so.
because if I come out on the right side of it,
Yeah.
absolute win. If
True.
I don't, then Adam's right, and he gets to gloat and all of that, and it's fine. But it's a win-win situation for everybody
You
here.
leave me here with cocky Adam. You get to leave, and Mom has to stay here with Dad, and Dad gets real.
I mean,
sloppy.
listen, if you want
Where's
to
the
bring me
spaghetti?
back for the
With the hot dogs in it.
yeah, if you want to bring me back for the after effects of what comes out of this, that's fine. But who knows?
Well, you know what I do know? That we have friends. And our friends...
And sheets.
And sheets. But our friends are usually popping up right at this time because we're going to go into a break and you're going to hear from our friends. So when you support our friends, you support us. And when you support us, you bring some pretty cool stuff. Like talking to Derek from Debit and Credits Brewing. So we'll see you on the other side.
Sugar-coated murderer. I said that wrong.
If you love talking blockbuster movies, comic books, animation, and TV shows, check out Talking SMAC, hosted by me, Josh Scar, along with my rotating cast of co-hosts. We will talk superheroes, movies, animation, and comics with you every Wednesday on your favorite podcatcher.
Welcome back. Hopefully you heard something that you like because, again, when you support our friends, you support us. And when you support us, we do some pretty cool stuff.
Sugar-coated murder.
There you go.
Yeah, I got it.
He's got it.
Round 2, baby.
We are in round 2. We have one of the best home brewers in the Pittsburgh scene. He brought more beers for us to drink. Put it all together, what we call it? Round 2. You don't have to do it. Round 2.
No, I want to do it.
I hope you're as bad at trivia as you are clapping.
You better believe it.
So what are we drinking here?
Yeah, so this is barrel-aged Bill the Audit Partner.
Caught that pop on sound effects.
That was really
nice.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is my barrel-aged barley wine. Aged it in a McLaughlin's bourbon barrel. So support local. This is coming in a little bit higher than the winter warmer at 13.5%. So
Half pour.
pour whatever you need to. But yeah, this one pretty simple from a grain perspective. Just a lot of two-row. It's really just more long mash, long boil, and then took a 6-month nap in
You need more, Matt?
the bourbon barrel. So
You steal that away because I'm going to tell you right now, it's not for lack of flavor. This thing is delicious. But I will tell you right now, if I'm going to edit this episode, I have to keep my wits about me because
Sounds
this
good.
I can taste every percentage of 13,
yeah,
but in a good way.
yeah.
That nice barrel-aged burn comes through just well enough. It balances out with that sweet maltiness. It's so good. It's a well-balanced beer, especially for you letting it take a little kitty cat nap for as
Oh,
long
yeah.
as you did. This is fantastic, man.
Thank you.
You said two-row was the focus on this one?
Yeah, so mostly two-row, a little bit of caramel malt, a little bit of just dextrose just to add the ABV. But at the end of the day, it's you're getting the color and the flavor from the extended boil, just all
Yeah.
that caramelization of the sugars.
God, it's so good.
But yeah, always enjoyed brewing the higher ABV
Yeah.
beers. Try to get it where it's not. And sometimes you run into this with the higher ABV beers, just the fusel alcohol flavor, where it's hot all the way through.
Yeah.
As opposed to what you had mentioned with, you get the heat from the barrel, but not so much something that's
Right.
turning you off from it.
Yeah,
So.
like a good, comfortable burn, like a warmth. That's what I'm getting more than anything else. I'm getting almost like a sugar cone kind of.
That's that caramel. That's that
Yeah.
boiling it for so
Man.
long. That's that caramelizing of the sugars.
I've only tasted a beer light that did this once before, and you may get a rock hard lead singer when I say this. I've only tasted a beer that did this when Bobby Nacho made the ice cream cone beer all those years ago at Brewing Up a Cure.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, but this is the only
And that
beer I
actually
remember.
had ice cream cones in it, so that
Yeah.
makes sense.
This is
But yeah, it is that similar vanilla note.
really good.
Yeah.
Not that you put vanilla in it, but like
Yeah.
that caramelized sugar.
No, and
flavors
I
off
give a
that.
lot of the credit goes to the McLaughlin bourbon barrel.
Yeah.
I mean that as soon as I opened it and put this beer in, it just the aroma and you could just sense all the bourbon notes from that. And when it comes to beers like this, I'm very passionate from a barley wine standpoint. I'm a big BIL fan. Barley wine is life. For anyone who doesn't know what that acronym stands for, Adam.
Already talking shit. I like this.
Well, that's all right. But what I found is kind of, if you age it, 3 to 4 months, you get more of the oak notes. But if you let it sit in kind of the 6-month time frame, you get some of that vanilla notes, and that was more what I was going for. So
yeah, and you hit the mark.
I killed it.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
I mean, my opinion on it, I let known in round 1 beers during the interview, because you said what his best brew ever was, and this is the best thing I've ever had that he made.
Yeah.
Not saying that anything else you made is crap, but like this blows my fucking taste buds off.
Yeah,
This thing's great.
It's really
So yeah, it just kills it, and it has that nice, on top of everything else we already talked about, that nice English like ester yeast character to it. So you get a little bit of dark fruits in there with all that vanilla and caramelized sugar and everything else. And the bourbon barrel definitely comes through. Yeah. Definitely shines. And that'll be the last nice thing I say about you, because we're about to battle.
Because it is time.
I'll see you in questions from the internet, because I'm going to be a fucking asshole till then.
So I made it no mystery to these two guys here. This is Adam versus guests, and we should know at this moment in time, as we sit here in episode 111, Adam is riding a 2-game losing streak.
I'm about to be relegated.
This is tough. He's about to bounce from Champions League. So, because I have debits and credits here, and I know Adam has a background in accounting, I decided to make all these questions about money and debits.
I thought it was going to be like accounting terms.
I feel like this is still not. It's going to be. It's going to be great. It's going to be the best category ever.
You've watched the show enough to know what the fuck I say. It's going to be maybe a sprinkling of what's going on here.
Why couldn't you be death metal brewing?
So,
smoked meats brewing.
So this is going to be...
What is the highest tax rate in 2024?
Explain to me in detail. Sock. I learned that before we go on.
Socks. You're
Socks.
close.
Socks.
How does depreciation work? I don't know.
Please, God, stop. We can't do this.
Yeah.
I'm dissociating.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's going to be multiple choice, this or that, and the final question, which the final question will take a little bit of extra time, which we will have to take a break to make sure we get everything lined up before we come back in and see who wins points on that one.
Can I answer this question about depreciation for a bonus point?
No.
No.
It's something you talk about, and as you hear about it, you regret all your career decisions.
1 point for Adam.
Short answer.
-1 point for Adam.
1 point to Gryffindor.
That's a fake point. We're starting at 0.
So since Adam, you are on a losing streak, and I have to let you play underdog a little more, Derek, you're going to go first. We're going to go through multiple choice. And the way this works is you get first crack at the question. If you miss it, he gets to steal it. Now, if you get the first question right and you get a first crack at the bonus, you get the bonus wrong the first time, he gets a crack at it. Does it make a lot of sense? Probably not. Let's go.
All the sense.
Okay. So, Derek, the oldest currency still in use today is the British pound. Speaking of our friends across the pond in Shaun of the Dead, Simon Pegg had to continually tell his buddy that he cannot drive his stepfather's car. What was the make of the car? The BMW Autobahn, the Renault Menet, the Jaguar XJ12, or the Aston Martin DB5?
So this is in no way finance related, other than the fact that you brought up British pound.
In use today is the British pound.
I almost know 100% that Adam knows this. But I'm just going to go with, I have no idea.
Okay.
But I'm going to go with B, the Renault.
Incorrect. However, it is in the movie. Whenever they were trying to drive to the Winchester, they all piled in that car. It belonged to the Nick Frost character. However, that is not the car that the stepfather owned. Adam, chance to steal.
It's been a while since I watched this movie. I'm guessing D.
That is also incorrect. Yeah. It is the Jaguar XJ12. They piled in, slammed a tape in the drive, and then wrecked that shit immediately. Also, his stepdad turned into a zombie in the backseat.
Right.
So, Derek,
I do remember that part.
Derek, back to you for the bonus here. So, Nick Frost is a close friend and collaborator of Simon Pegg, and in the movie Attack the Block, Frost joined in the battle against what horrific type of foe? Vampires, werewolves, aliens, or zombies that turned due to the consumption of weed?
Wow. It's a very loaded question.
Isn't it, though?
I have no idea if it is or not. I'm going to go with D because that's the most exciting answer for me.
It is exciting, but it's also incorrect.
I
Now,
figured.
Nick Frost's character was a drug dealer in this movie. However, there were no zombies. Adam, chance to steal.
Can I have the options again?
Vampires, werewolves, or aliens?
Vampires.
Incorrect. They were aliens.
This is going really
My
well.
last guess. I was going to guess werewolves before aliens.
So, in Attack the Block, wonderful sci-fi horror movie. I highly recommend it. It's currently on Prime and on Tubi. So, number 3 here, Adam. Did you know a banknote can be folded 4,000 times before it rips? Me either. But you know what rips? Keanu Reeves in Point Break. What was Point Break initially going to be called? Johnny Utah, Adrenaline, The Work, or the 1982 Texas Switcheroo?
Johnny Utah.
That is correct. They thought about Riders of the Storm as well, but they landed on Point Break because of the wordplay of your surfboard getting to the top of the wave and coming down. So, Adam, you get first crack at the bonus here. Keanu Reeves has become arguably one of the top actors of our generation. He grew up in Hawaii, was babysat by a young Alice Cooper, and just couldn't handle school and eventually gave up on the idea of being a traditional graduate. What movie did Keanu get his first appearance in? Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Point Break, Young Blood, or My Own Private Idaho?
I feel like he had to be in something before Bill and Ted. I'll go with first off, I didn't know Alice Cooper babysat him. That's cool.
Yeah, his mom was a costume designer.
D, Private Idaho.
Incorrect.
Damn.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Point Break, or Young Blood?
Ooh, I'm gonna. This probably isn't gonna go well, but I feel on the same path as Adam that he had to be in something before Bill and Ted, so I'm gonna go with C, Youngblood.
That is correct. Yes, Keanu
Crushing
played a
it.
goalie called Heaver in the 1986 hockey flick with a dreamy Rob Lowe in the lead role. Yeah. So it's back to you. It's tied 1-1.
All right, let's do this.
A coin can last for 30 years if handled normally. Speaking of shelf life, according to the FDA, which food lasts the longest in the fridge? Raw poultry, raw fish and shellfish, raw steaks, or bacon?
Ooh. This is gonna be tough because I don't do the cooking, which is evidenced by my bodily figure. I'm going to go with bacon.
That is correct. For 7 days. The others last raw poultry 1 to 2 days, raw fish 1 to 2 days, raw steaks are 3 to 5, and then bacon lasts for 7 days. However, you think cured meats would last a little longer, but we're talking about raw bacon here.
Right.
So, first crack at the bonus. Bacon is used as another slang term for police, which is also referred to as 12, and 12 times 3 is 36. Wu-Tang forever. Dave Chappelle represented the Wu on several occasions, but what did the Wu tell you to do with your bond? Smoke them, diversify them, create a portfolio, or give them to the old dirty bastard?
What is the question?
What did the Wu-Tang tell you to do with your bonds? Smoke them, diversify them, create a portfolio, or give them to the old dirty bastard?
I mean, all those are very fascinating answers, but I'm going to go with A. Smoke 'em.
Incorrect.
Dang it.
Adam, diversify them.
The first fight, I'm bitches.
That's
Should've
correct. It's tied to you diversify your bonds, and they also said konnichiwa, bitches. So for a real quick bonus here, first person to raise their hand to answer this question gets an extra 2 points. We are tied 2-2. Speaking of Wu-Tang, can you name at least 4 members of the Wu-Tang Clan? Adam.
Old Dirty Bastard, Redman, Method Man, the RZA.
Incorrect.
What?
I have nothing to add.
Adam, you use Redman, but he's only a featuring act on this.
I'll give you Ghostface Killer then.
Ghostface Killer is correct, but you can't get the points.
Oh, come on.
It's 2-2. So it's the RZA, the Jizza, Method Man, Raekwon, Ghostface Killer, Inspector Deck, You God, Master Killer, Old Dirty Bastard, and then when Old Dirty Bastard passed away, Capadonna came in and took over for those vocal responsibilities. So we are tied 2-2, going into a little bit of this or that.
Oh, here we go.
So you can buy a bunch of random shit on Amazon, of course, we all know that. But did you know you can find some truly outlandish stuff to impress your friends with? Because Amazon has very expensive shit in it. So you might be able to get a date or maybe get a cool fucking house. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pose to you guys two things, and you have to tell me which one is the more expensive item. Okay. So who answered the last question here? I think it's on to Adam, isn't it?
Yeah, he answered.
Yeah, he got bacon.
Yep.
Adam tied it 2-2. You are going to pit the artist or art master collection Francisco Jose de Goya y Lucentes Retrero de Rafael Esteve against the 1907 no mint mark Saint Gaudens ultra high relief pattern PCGS PR69 coin.
Man, that coin has a lot of words behind it. But I'm going to go with the... it was the whole art portfolio?
It is one rendition of the Retrato de Rafael Esteve.
I'm going with the coin, then.
Incorrect. Actually, the Retrato de Rafael
Easy with that
Esteve
R.
is... I know, I'm trying. It's very close. I'm trying to be respectful.
There's a lot of fancy words going on in this question.
It's $4 million, while the PCGS PR69 is $3.5 million. So
at least it was
you were close. So we're still 2-2 here. Derek.
Yep.
Cal Ripken Jr.'s rookie jersey that's signed going against Paul Stanley's Kiss guitar that's also signed.
Ooh, I'm going to go with the guitar.
Incorrect.
Sons of Monkeys.
The jersey is $890,000, while Paul Stanley's guitar is $46,000.
That old bitch put his name on everything.
He did.
I'm talking about Paul Stanley.
Cal Ripken rarely signed anything.
Right?
Yeah.
He just showed up to
boy.
work, motherfuckers.
That's all he did. Never missed a day, Mr. Iron Man.
Good for him.
Adam, the 1952 Topps Warren Spahn baseball card going against House of Brilliance Diamond Waterfall Chandelier earrings.
Give me them earrings.
Incorrect. Warren Spahn was one of the most winningest pitchers of all time, especially in an era where Cuban players actually could take the field and hit bangers off of people that can maybe throw a curveball. So, Derek, back to you. The 1843 Rare Mexico Bond versus the 1930s New York Yankees team-signed baseball.
I'm just going to take that baseball all day.
It's incorrect.
You got to be kidding me.
The Rare
Come on.
The Rare Mexico Bond is $175,000, while the 1930s signed baseball is $89,000. Adam, to take a lead into the last question here, we have an autographed Goodwin portrait Michael Jordan NBA art versus a silk vintage Yulong carpet.
I don't know shit about carpets. Michael Jordan.
That's correct.
Oh,
Michael Jordan's Goodwin portrait comes in at $115,000, and the silk vintage Yulong carpet comes in at $45,000. So these are all things you can actively right now look at on Amazon, which is
nuts.
absolutely
That's
fucking insane. Yeah, you can spend $1 million on something. You can actually buy a house now on Amazon, which is incredible. They deliver it. You can put it together. It takes two people. So
You free on Sunday?
So Adam brings in a 3-2 lead. So I'm going to make the last question worth 2 points.
All right.
It only makes sense because there's only one winner, and I don't need to make it more than
I
that.
fucking like that. I earned that point.
You did. But
only because we answered so terribly for all the other questions.
That was rough.
Are you guys familiar with QSR Magazine? Is that something that you guys have? Okay, good.
I have a prescription.
No.
So QSR Magazine will break down some of the biggest franchises in American and international and global business and give you the insights of how much money they make. Well, of course, we're in the new year in January, right? So QSR decided to give us the top 10 fast food franchises of all time. So what I'm going to do with you guys is we're going to go off mic here.
Okay.
To give you guys, it's going to be a snake style Mount Rushmore divide. Put your phone away, Adam.
I'm playing with that.
Okay.
My phone is over there.
I don't want you cheating.
Sorry. It
So
probably
is-
did look like I was texting.
So is mine.
I'm
Mine's
actually
also
just,
over there.
I'm actually just over here masturbating. Sorry. You said fast food a couple times.
I love it. So they know that we're going to be discussing these people. The top 10 in no particular order whatsoever. Wendy's, Dunkin' Donuts, Chick-fil-A, Domino's, Pizza Hut, McDonald's, Starbucks, Subway, Burger King, Taco Bell. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into a little bit of a break, and you guys are going to snake through, and whoever has the highest earning
Wait, so those are the top 10?
Those are the top 10.
Okay.
The highest 5 earning against their opponent wins 2 points and subsequently the game. We'll see you on the other side. Welcome back. I know it was a short break, but we are back with a decisive winner. Before we do that, our guest here decided to bring one more beer for us. So before we go on, it's round 3 beers. You brought more. What do we call it? Round 3 beers. What
Adam was so off.
I missed
I
it that
appreciate
time.
it.
It's time. So yes,
It is-
you're in.
yeah,
You're in.
I'm
Trying
totally
to move
in.
my notes off screen.
Yeah. So this is a double barrel deadline. It's a Belgian style barrel aged stout by
Jesus.
Taxman Brewing.
It sounds like it's going to end your life.
Just trying to bring all the low ABV beers
Yeah.
for you guys.
Put it up against the microphone before you do that.
Oh,
Perfect.
Sound
go.
effects.
Sound
yeah.
effects. Totally. Yep, that wasn't gross at all.
That was
Don't
a wet
worry about
boy.
it.
That was a wet boy.
Yep.
Wet boys are appreciated.
So this is a brewery out of Indiana.
Okay.
It's about, I want to say 15%. So good thing it's a little small can, but just brought it as, kind of Taxman along the lines of Debits and Credits. A lot of their beers are named similarly to what I was going for. So, in the event any pro brewery, Taxman Brewing, wants to do a collaboration,
This is it.
would totally get along with them. I'm sure we can make something happen.
You sound like a wrestling stable.
Yeah, hit them up.
Debits, credits, taxman.
Taxman.
Yeah.
We're coming to you. We're called the fiscal year. It is 15.1%. Have fun,
Crushed
boys. We're doing little pours. We're fine.
Yeah, we're fine.
So
Love the name, though.
I'm
I
okay,
come
Mom.
prepared.
But yeah, I've also been fortunate enough to go to Taxman and, killer tap room.
Yeah.
And, Belgians are their thing.
Yep.
Their Belgians are some of the only ones I like.
Yeah, I'm not a big Belgian
I'm
fan
not a big
myself
Belgian.
either. Yeah.
Yeah, and they do Belgian styles of, beer styles that aren't necessarily like this one's
Like
a
this is a
Belgian
stout.
style barrel aged
Yeah.
stout, which you don't necessarily see a lot. But they do it super well. They do super high ABV. I don't know what Adam's doing. He's
Whoa.
stretching. He's trying to figure out what's going on.
I got the weirdest sensation ever.
Yeah.
So I got just a ton of I took a shot of whiskey burn, but just in my chest.
Yeah.
Not in my mouth at all, not on my tongue, but it just as much as your winter warmer warmed me, this thing just went.
Gotcha.
Oh, it went circular.
Oh, yeah.
Went up, around my nipples, back down, up a little bit more, and then settled.
Trying to combat all those fucking
Woo!
hot dogs.
Oh, no. I got an update for you on theirs and the questions from the internet.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, before we get into the questions from the internet, we did pose the final question here in the Jojitorium where our two combatants were coming in here with Adam leading 3-2. And I said, QSR Magazine had posted the top 10 fast food chains of 2023. So I'll run them down for you real quick in order.
Okay.
And I'll give you the amount in billions that they acquired in profit.
Ooh, that's a lot of money.
McDonald's 37, Starbucks 13, Subway 10.8, Burger King 10, Taco Bell 9.8, Wendy's 9.3, Dunkin' Donuts 9.2, Chick-fil-A 9, Domino's 5.9, and then Pizza Hut is 5.5. So with a total,
So basically, anyone who picked McDonald's wins.
basically,
You'd have to really fuck up from there, yeah.
so with a total of $71.2 billion, Adam comes in with a win with his team of McDonald's,
You
Wendy's,
had a great lineup, though.
Dunkin' Donuts, Domino's, and Taco Bell. Valiant effort, sir. I'll say this right now.
If you slipped on Starbucks, you were dead from the first round.
Yeah, that
so-
was a tough one. But
That's fair.
you picked the number 2. I mean, you did a great job here. I will say too, I want to pat myself on the back here, but this is the most difficult set of questions I think I've ever formulated for an Adam versus guest.
I would say so.
Based on the number of inaccurate answers that we both provided, based on the fact that I know nothing,
I think it was the last one, this or that, was really freaking hard, too.
Yeah?
But the multiple
Yeah.
choice was easier.
Hey man,
Damn, that was a tough one.
yeah. How close was it if you took McDonald's out of it? Because I feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
McDonald's was a cheat.
so McDonald's, if you take it out, you're talking about $37 billion. What's 71.2 minus 37? I mean,
Yeah.
those are-
So I feel like
What was
whoever
his
got
total?
whoever got the first pick.
His overall total was 48.3. So he would have. Yeah,
But I would have
Yeah.
needed some other pick. I would have got the next one.
Yeah,
Probably Chipotle. I think Chipotle was
There you go.
number 11.
it's just mind blowing how much higher McDonald's is than everyone
Everybody
else.
else.
And even Starbucks. Yeah, I knew it was gonna be high, but not that much.
Well, that's that global saturation shit, man. You have
True.
McDonald's in Israel for Christ's
Yeah.
sake. They put them everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Yeah. You can't get away from it. So, you know what else you can't get away from? Questions from the internet. So, Derek, in your defeat, you also have proved yourself to be a formidable guest, and we do appreciate you being on here with us. So,
Appreciate it.
I dug into the depths of the internet, and I found three questions for us to pick apart here. So, number one, I pose this to you guys. What's the dumbest statement you've ever heard? Whoever wants to go first.
So I'll go first because I know Adam has an actual specific example. I don't, just because I feel like there's been so many instances of dumb statements said, whether it's at work or listening to a sporting event where, one of the commentators says like one of the most obvious statements ever,
Yeah.
like, "Oh,
team that scores the most points is gonna win this game."
right, like the winning team is trying to score more points." Like, wow, thank you for just enlightening us with that level.
Thank you,
of
Tony
knowledge.
Romo.
Right, exactly.
Joe Buck, you're in my heart.
Typically anything Adam says, as evidenced by this podcast. But yeah, there wasn't one thing specific. I know Adam said he has something specific that he wants to go over, but for me it was going through many years of really dumb statements was hard to bring up one specific item, but I think it was just there's just so many things that come up that it's impossible to think of just one.
Yeah.
Like the dumbest thing ever, I'm like that. I feel like every other day I'm like that takes the cake.
So you're so confounded by how much stupidity surrounds you on a daily basis that you can't bring me one thing.
Right, and
Welcome to the world of accounting.
and I don't deal well with stupidity, which is a fascinating that I
Then why the fuck
actually
are
handle
you
with
here?
because Adam homebrews. I don't find
the-
you have any stupidity. I appreciate
I
all of the words and wisdom that you bring to this podcast. However, Adam brings a lot of wisdom from a homebrew standpoint.
Humble
So
brag.
I allow him to enter my social circle.
Very humble brag. I'm on the smart side of stupid, for sure.
I don't know exactly what that means, but it just
I think I found
Means
the
like
dumbest
my
thing I ever heard.
IQ.
Yeah.
My IQ is just there,
Slightly
yeah,
different.
just above. Stupid.
Here's the bell curve, Adam.
yes.
Right there.
So as someone who's on the far end of the bell curve, congratulations, I guess, is what I have to say.
Sure.
So
mine again. I am also inundated with a bunch of stupid in my life. So I went into the brew world and I was like, "What's the stupidest
Yeah.
question?" And I'm not going to bring up names because there shouldn't be shame for. There's no bad question. You got to get your answer, and it was something very important to ask about
Yes.
because you could have really fucked up the beer.
shame.
A brewer, a brewer. It was. I already said home, so it was a home brewer. Was like, yeah, we're trying to mash in at like 152, and we got our pot on a turkey burner, and no matter how low we turn it down, I can't get it below 180. How do I drop the temperature? It was in a text message, so I can show you it as evidence after the podcast. And I said, turn the burner off. And they just texted back, oh,
That works.
shit.
So are you trying to say that mash temp has an impact on beer?
Yeah. Oh, it definitely has an impact on beer. And they knew that part.
Yeah.
They just didn't know how to cool their beer down from having a flame under it. Take the flame
Take the
away.
flip.
I was like, not only that, but then, and I said, if you want to cool it down faster, move it away from where the flame was.
Yeah.
Because that's hot now.
Yeah.
If you have like a cold garage floor or something, just set it on that. It'll
Yeah.
chill. Keep your thermometer in it. They figured it
Yeah.
out. It was fine. Yeah, mash temps very important, especially if you're mashing.
Yeah. If you're
I don't know who asked. I don't know who asked me that question.
Whoa, shade.
shots, baby, shots.
I want a rematch.
Yeah. Well, we
Whoa.
are working currently. We are working currently on a charity event where we will take on the Mesh Mash team, and we will donate the money we raise to a worthy charity. We're working out the kinks. Stay tuned. So the
I think
dumbest,
Sam from Mondays is going to be on that episode.
probably. So I would say in terms of the dumbest thing I've ever heard, and this is very recent to me, and I don't appreciate this because I felt like it was a personal attack on me. Someone told me they don't like the Creed reunion, and I can't begin to describe. Fuck you. First off, right? Fuck you.
That's tough.
How do you not like the Sultan of Sing, Scott Stapp, coming back to bring one of the best bands of all time, Creed? He and Jeff have just come together and they've made beautiful music together.
Yes.
If you don't like Creed, you don't like me. Fucking unsubscribe to us because I love Creed.
But also don't unsubscribe.
No.
Just keep listening. It's
Just
okay.
keep listening.
I'd rather go into a detriment and earn other listeners.
He wants to earn just Creed fans back.
That's Creed. Can you take me higher? My actual supporters.
Will Creed fans actually take you higher in subscribers?
Well, you know what? I will say this. There's one person who DM'd me on YouTube and specifically added us because of the picture I had with Adam getting me the Creed shirt. I had the Three Doors Down shirt.
Yeah.
He was like, I was on the fence about your podcast, and then I saw that picture, and I added you.
And then we saw how crappy your taste was, and we're like, yeah, we can relate.
Yeah, dude. Sign you the fuck up. You're part of the cult. Come on.
Let's go.
Yeah.
We're into dumb shit and do dumb shit things.
Yeah. Speaking of dumb shit things, is there any job or profession, number 2 question here, that you would never do?
So never do or recommend to others doing.
However you want to take the question.
Because as far as recommending, I'm not sure I would recommend accounting to the future persons of America.
But it gave you your whole homebrew.
It
archetype.
does.
You named yourself after accounting.
I did, and that should probably be the last one. It does provide great job security.
Yeah, of course.
Because there's nothing more secure than death and taxes.
Numbers are life.
So there is that. It's just, it's not the sexiest thing you could do in life. But as far as I personally go, anything with heights is completely out. I have it's funny because like as a tall person, people are like, how are you afraid of heights? I'm like, have you ever done anything involving heights? Like people that like do things on windmills and like change the lights on like things that are like 50,000 feet. No.
What about the people that clean the windows on skyscrapers?
No way.
Can I?
That's the one that always freaks me out.
When I used to work in the office and those people would come by and clean the windows, I had to leave because they freaked me out. I was like, I can't even look at you because I have such anxiety of you like just falling over the edge, and then it's like you have nothing.
He was just like, you just made brown pants to match your brown belt and brown
right,
shoes.
exactly. No,
I want to go back to the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. If anyone looks at me and says, because you're 6'3", you must not be scared of heights, like I don't have a fucking ladder, like I don't get higher than 6'3". Do you understand anything above 6'3"?
No.
Then why? Like
As a short person, no.
No, I honestly can say to you, there have been people that have come to me and said, oh, you're so tall. How are you afraid of heights? And I'm like, have you been above 6'3"? Because holy shit.
it's terrifying.
Like, and I look at like the building. No one asked you, Adam,
I have
because
a
you're
really-
5'3", so it doesn't matter.
No, I have a really good comment about this.
But like the building in Chicago where they did the glass thing where you can it like floats over and you can like look. Why would you ever want to do that?
That's only 6'4".
That's like 85,000 stories. Like nope, anything with heights,
So,
go away. Don't come at me. I'm not cleaning anyone's windows.
Height 87,000 stories is 6'6".
That might be like
Yeah,
6'8".
exactly. But no, anything with heights, no,
Yeah.
never. I will never.
How
no.
tall is Yao Ming?
I wouldn't even cut his hair.
That's a frightening height.
Yeah, no. Anything.
I just have a comment on this whole thing.
sure.
As a short king
Yeah.
with two tall lads here, I just want to ask, can you take me higher?
Oh, I could definitely take you higher.
Somebody want to lift me up at the
I'll
end of
lift
this?
you the fuck
All right.
up. Yeah.
I mean, I can put you on my shoulders, but I don't want to be the person on my shoulders.
I'll root you the
To tie
fuck out of you.
both of your answers together.
Yeah, no.
Job profession that no one should do.
Yeah, so I had to look up the technical term for it, and I'm going to try my best. It's an ophthalmologist.
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 For eyes.
Ophthalmologist. Hold on. Here we go.
Ophthalmologist.
Here we go.
Okay.
We're gonna see.
Ophthalmologist.
Okay.
I did pretty well.
What does that do?
That is an eye surgeon. There's
Yeah, an
no way
ophthalmologist.
I can. It's not ophthalmologist though.
No?
Ophthalmologist studies the
Just
eye.
like
These people cut
Oh.
into the eye.
Oh, nope.
I think he's saying ophthalmologist.
It's
Oh,
off.
gotcha.
It's
Gotcha.
ophthalmologist.
All right, all right.
Ooh.
That sounds terrible.
Because I just was traumatized by those videos. Like, for some reason, when we were kids,
Yeah.
anybody that was born in the mid 80s to late 80s, anybody watching TV in the 90s, for some reason you would be flipping channels and they were just surgery channels, like live
Yeah,
surgery
what the
channels.
fuck is that all
And sometimes
about?
it was eye surgery.
Yep.
And that made me sick to my stomach. So I could not be, and how I was going to pronounce it was eye surgeon.
That's fair. That's the reason I haven't gotten LASIK.
But it
because,
truly is.
Terrifying.
Yeah, no.
Ophthalmologist.
Yeah.
Ophthalmologist.
Ophthalmologist.
Like, I don't want lasers. I don't want anything cutting my eye. I totally
Yeah,
agree
it's
with
why,
that.
It is why I haven't gotten LASIK yet.
But I
Because of the TV shows in the
Yeah.
90s.
I am more crippled by heights than I am of cutting an eye open. Yeah,
So,
let's do this.
Last one here we have is what is one thing, a life hack, change in your habit of behavior, whatever, that has made you exponentially happier?
Yeah. I guess I'll go because Adam's just staring at me
Good.
saying that I should go. I mean, I feel like this is going to be like a homer answer, but I'm going to say home brewing totally helped out. It's just like a hobby. Obviously, a fan of craft beer. That was like a big thing. Just kind of helps, just kind of decompress and, things to do on the weekend. And then I also just say, like, working from home, working remotely has been a huge benefit. I have 3 kids that are in school, so being able to get them on the bus, get them off the bus, and, be able to go to all their different events is a huge plus, where that probably doesn't happen if I'm driving 45 minutes into an office and 45 minutes home every day. So no super cool life hacks that I'm bringing to the world. Pretty much what everyone else is doing.
Good
but
thing you went first because mine pales in comparison. Mine has no meaning to
What
me.
do you got?
Other than so Matt sat me down last week after the episode and was like, the hot dog intake's getting ridiculous. So I decided to switch up my food for the week.
Okay.
Got into hard-boiled eggs.
What
eggs,
the fuck are you doing?
Eggs are king now. But so my life hack I figured out.
so you
though-
went from one grossly thing to another
oh, they're
that just
both-
makes you.
He's not saying deviled eggs. However, I'm not endorsing this, but it's not deviled
Yeah.
eggs.
They're both packed with eggs, and actually, my preferred choice of egg is hard boiled. So
All
my
right.
life hack is, of course, you go ahead and you get the water up to a boil. You drop them in for about 10 minutes, and then you run them in a cold bath, right, to stop the cook.
Yeah, Brett Kreischer.
But the hack is, as you're running that cold water, take each one and crack them, and then let them soak. Because if you crack them when they're hot/warm still, much easier to peel them. That's all.
True.
Good life hack. Changed my life for this week. I've eaten 2 dozen hard-boiled eggs
Wow.
in 6 days.
And we are now in the Food Network. So congratulations.
Lori had to work a lot of weird hours over the holiday weekend.
You're
That's so many
So I was left on my own.
hard-boiled eggs.
You've never figured out how to stop having diarrhea.
No, but in all fairness, I go super local, super organic with my eggs because
It doesn't fucking matter.
we give our spent grain here from
No.
Bash Brew
No.
to a chicken farmer,
No.
and I get eggs in return, and then I hard boil them and eat them.
Lies.
A little bit of hot sauce.
All I'm telling
So my
you.
my sodium intake might be a little high because I do hot sauce all the eggs, but they're delicious. A great glizzy substitute. I also ran out of hot dog buns this week, so I had to figure.
You would have been better off eating hot dogs.
I don't think
What
so.
do you?
Eggs are really high in protein, low calorie, a little high in cholesterol, but it's fine.
Super high.
They're
in
super
cholesterol.
high.
Yeah, but I already take medicine for those, so it's fine.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crestor.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
Yeah, Crystal.
I'm going to take that as a win that I don't.
That
take
is a
Cristor.
win.
That was a win.
That means your parents are super healthy too.
But also go to your doctor. You might need Crestor.
I mean, I did read last year, and they said Cholesterol's good.
That's good. That's good. That's really good.
So,
I mean, mine's definitely. I got my blood taken pre-hot dog and egg epidemics.
obviously, our next
mine's-
episode is just going to be doctoral. We're just going to talk about all
Mine's
the
more mine's
various-
all family history based.
Well, now as Dr. Drew left YMH, I can probably get him to come on here and diagnose you with busy addictions.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah. So for my life hack, it's very simple. I never knew about this thing until I got it, and it made my life exceedingly easier.
Oh, the vasectomy.
Yeah, I could dump. I dump clips as quickly and as often as I want to.
You set yourself up, sir. I'm sorry.
Nobody's safe.
I didn't mean to kill your build there, but it all made sense.
The build is for nothing because there was something. I don't know if you know about this multi-level marketing bullshit called Pampered Chef. Are you familiar with this?
Yeah.
fucking
Oh,
thing?
hell
yeah.
yeah.
They have a tool that costs $1, and I got it, and I have it, and I use it almost every day. I love oranges, and there's an orange peeler that I bought from Pampered Chef, and all it is one big hunk of stupid fucking plastic, and it pulls off the rind, and it can take the pith off of the
Of the outside once you get the
Yeah.
rind off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that pith is the worst part. That's the bitter.
yeah, and all I get is delicious fucking orange. I'm happier.
Nice.
There you go.
That's
Can
all. That's all I got.
Can I,
I
ask
mean-
a follow-up to that?
Sure.
Once you get the rind and the pith off, do you just one go that orange? Or like just cut it in half? Or do you still
You can cut
take
oranges?
each segment?
You can cut oranges in half.
Well, you can just like pull them apart. Do you eat them like a half at a
pull-
time, or do you just throw
Well-
the whole thing in your mouth?
Oranges pull.
You throw it all in your mouth. You eat it just like a.
But what do you?
You're like, oh, I got a big old Welch's grape.
Okay, whoa, calm down. Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. Oranges pull apart?
Yeah, they're naturally segmented.
Yes. In
You're
eighths.
a king. You're
It's-
a Cobra
It's
king.
in eighths. They're called slices.
Yeah.
I thought that our moms did that at soccer, like on purpose.
No,
Yeah,
you
like
could
use it
literally
like an
just pull
apple.
that apart.
So you've just been Cobra throwing these things, just eating them whole.
I mean, I know you're probably used to that size in your pants, but I mean, you don't have to eat it either.
Well, I didn't know there's another way.
You pull them apart. Which I mean, you can't. Never mind. We're not going to get into
Alright,
that.
There's
No,
a
you just
new
pull
there's a
them
new
apart.
dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
You pull oranges so they.
I mean, I've been into eggs, so I don't know, but I've heard.
Yes, you can pull oranges apart.
I've been throwing cuties for 20
Well,
fucking years.
no, cuties are different. They're so much smaller.
Yeah.
I mean, you can still pull them apart, but I mean, you can eat them.
Well, the reason behind the tool is because I was sick and tired of putting the whole orange in my mouth and eating, like biting down on the rind and getting everything out of it.
There's no way that happened. I don't believe you for a second. I don't believe you. I agree that it fits
We
in your
just
mouth.
found the
There's
third-
no way you ate an orange with the peel on it.
If you're eating the orange with the peel on it, we just found the third measure, brother.
Yeah,
And
there's no
it's
way.
you.
Because if you need someone to zest your orange, I know a couple guys.
Also, the Mesher brothers, orange
Exactly.
experts.
Yeah, orange experts. There's zero chance you ate a whole orange.
Don't
with
challenge.
the- with the rind.
Don't challenge me. Don't challenge me. Don't challenge me.
I mean, you can. I just wouldn't.
Easy.
That's
tagger.
all right, all right.
Easy tagger.
I don't know what's happening.
So
I don't know where we
are
are.
moving into what's on tap and where can you find it. So Derek, it's the end of the episode, man.
It is.
We made it.
We made it.
Had a great time with you, man.
I
So,
appreciate it.
Can you tell everybody out there where
there.
can they find you
Out there in the world.
out there in the world? Where they can find you on the interwebs?
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram, Debits and Credits Brewing, one word, because I don't think you could do multiple words on Instagram, but I also don't understand how the internet works.
Underscores.
Yeah, I don't do. No, there's no underscores. So you could do that. All the beers are on Untapped. I mean, who knows? Maybe 2024 we'll see us getting onto Facebook, but it's hard enough doing one social media item. But as far as beers on tap, yeah, we got the barley wine, the winter warmer. We got a brown ale and a chocolate pastry stout. So
Nice.
plenty of beers on tap, which are not nearly as good as the 4 that Adam has on tap. But if anyone's in the South Hills and is thirsty, feel free to stop on by or hit me up.
And if you want to know about these beers here, Adam, what's on tap and where can you find us?
Yeah, so big changes down here today. Literally today we kicked
Yeah.
stuff. So
We invited the great kicker
yeah,
of
yeah,
kegs.
yeah. So Practical Effects, our latest batch of Cremo is on. We have A little bit of the bubbly on tap 2. That's our brewed IPA. Coming by the time you're hearing this, it'll be a few days. So by Saturday, we will have some Black Mass, which is our new oatmeal stout, coming in at about 5.5%. And then on our final tap, we still have a little bit of that Merry Crisis, which is our holiday braggot with cranberry and lingonberry. So come check that out. And I do want to do one more big pump this Saturday. After you're hearing this, the Royal Rumble party. If you want to join us, hit up the Instagram page at DWTB and let us know, and we'll shoot you the address.
Yeah. How do you feel about virtual?
I ain't doing that shit. No. I'll be too drunk for that shit.
Sorry, Dan. So if you wanted to come,
and my computer sucks.
You want to come through virtually. So if you want to go, I'm down here in the Brew Lab. It is _brew on all social medias: Facebook, Instagram, and X. Debits and Credits. It's Debits and Credits Brewing, all one word, on Instagram and also on Untapped. We want to got the boys down here in the Jojitorium. We were at DWTB on all social media: Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, YouTube, and everything else. Put in social, end it with media. At DWTB, you're going to find us. So from where we are down here in the Jojitorium, hanging out with one of the coolest and best upcoming brewers in the Pittsburgh scene. Until next time, cheers.
Cheers. I'll do a future one with you, Dan. Hey, your BK Lounge is open again, Matt.
I saw
under new ownership.
Yeah, same Stony crew, by the way, that plays Dungeons and Dragons out back, which I respect. I respect the fuck out of it.
So they hired the same people back?
Minus this one asshole that sucked.
Did you go there today? Yes. You love a BK Lounge.
I do, man.
Dude,
it's like the fucking Delta Lounge.